I'm worried about our cash reserves. They're pretty low and we might have to start shutting down facilities.
Welcome back, guys. Notorious here, and this is race 5 of season 1 of my team series. And as you heard him say there, we are almost broke 5 races in, which is quite sad. We are the third worst team, just above Haas and Williams. And so far this season, we have only managed to score points in Baku. Fast forwarding our practice sessions here, trying to keep the astonishingly high wear rate down by swapping back and forth between old engine parts, I guess. I think I do that just before practice 3, so I don't have to do that in quali and get grid penalties. But overall, I like this system way more than simulating the practice in 2020 and just getting the points. This is a bit more fun, you have to manage a bit more. But we do, at the end, put back our quali and race parts for practice 3. We managed to score 600 points. Callum Eilert yet again doesn't score a lot. And this is beginning to be a bit of a problem because Haas and Williams are not far away from us. But we are gonna head over to quali. It is raining in Q1. And the race is also gonna be a bit wet for the end, which is gonna play a big part in our race strategy later. As you can see, it says
I'd take a set of intermediates in these unpredictable conditions.
before Jeff cuts me off there, it says that it's gonna be both sunny and rainy at the race. And essentially what I am going to do is I'm gonna bank on the other teams hitting twice and losing around 25-30 seconds in the pits, while I take the hard tire stop once for inters if the rain comes, and basically try to get points that way. But we do go out on the inters first, and we try to put together a lap. If you have watched my previous 4 episodes, you know that I am playing without the racing line, so I am a bit more cautious around the tracks. But at the end of Q1 it does dry up, and we are the first runner, I think, on the soft tire. Latifi and Mazepin just ahead of us. We are only gonna get, I think, 1 run in on the softs before they are bad, and we have to make this count. So coming ahead here, we end up in P2, but everyone still has to finish their laps, and then Sebastian Vettel there was 2 seconds ahead, and Bottas was almost 2.7, I think, seconds ahead. So we do have a bit to catch, but in the end we do end up knocked out in Q1. We finished ahead of our teammate by 4/10, but yeah, the car was not very good. Schumacher in the Haas actually got through to Q2, which is a bit surprising since we are ahead of the Haas. But yeah, we got a bit of work to do here.
Hello and welcome to the Ile Notre Dame once again for what promises to be another incredible Canadian Grand Prix at a fiercely competitive circuit, where pole position can often be decided by less than 1/10 of a second. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles an hour here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions. And watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and the final chicane. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. And it's fantastic to have you with us here today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Hamilton, Max Verstappen and Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, Vettel and Pierre Gasly, Stroll, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso and Ocon, Raikkonen, Mazepin, Antonio Giovinazzi and George Russell, Latifi, Eilert, Mick Schumacher. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Ellis. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So Mick starts P21 after a grid penalty, but 5 lights and away we go. This is a slightly longer video than I would hope for. Took a while to edit, but we dive down the inside here, trying not to get any damage. And ahead of Giovinazzi here, we get a warning for collision with him. And at the second turn, we managed to spin out the Williams there. I'm not really sure if that's my fault. I think I left enough space on the inside there, and you don't really have a turn there if you're on the inside. You need a wider entry, at least for like any reasonable driving. But I am gonna show a third-person replay of that start, because I think a lot of stuff happened there that you might need to look at again. But we're chasing down Russell in the main straight of Canada, and using a bit of our battery here. We used quite a bit on the first lap actually, which was a mistake. We dive down the inside, we get the position, but 40% battery usage on the first lap is not ideal.
Nice work, that brings you up a place.
I don't actually feel like I use that much, but it's draining super fast. So working on the power unit instead of only working on aero is something I need to put focus on with the resource points. Managed to get ahead of Ocon there the same way I got ahead of Latifi. Pretty simple stuff. There's a slight bit of contact there, but nothing race ending. Mazepin ahead. I think I set him up here for the same overtake that I did on Russell the lap before at the chicane here. I must say, if there's something I'm disappointed in this year's game, is that it's super hard to spin out because of the new handling model or whatever. But before that was a frequent place where you would spin, but now you just lower it a bit easier.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
So we are at lap 3 here, and I think except for Mazepin, Mazepin and Ocon, we are ahead of the people that we are supposed to be ahead of both Williams, one Haas car, about to be two, and our teammate. Raikkonen and Giovinazzi are a bit different. I definitely feel like Raikkonen is a lot faster than Giovinazzi, and he has been quite a lot more difficult to catch in the previous races. But we're gonna set up Mazepin here for an overtake. We have a better exit out of that chicane or hairpin. No, that's a hairpin. And with DRS, with battery, we are just gonna fly past him. He brakes super early, which kind of tricks us into braking as well, but then we let
You've moved up to P15. We are now in P15.
we let go of the brake and we fly a bit forward. But here's the start again, and from third person this time. Lando gets ahead super fast. We managed to overtake our teammate instantly. We dive down the inside. Give a bit more respect to... That's the touch that I got a warning for on Giovinazzi, and that's barely a touch, I feel like. There goes Latifi spinning. It doesn't really show the contact, but I do show his POV here. I think this is his mistake. This is him turning or not expecting. This is the overtake on Russell. There was no contact there, just taking advantage of the stiff lines of the AI. Overtake on Ocon here, same story. No real contact. Otherwise, I think I would have gotten a warning for that. And a Mazepin here. Slight contact there, but into that corner I was ahead, so I think I am entitled to take that corner as my own. But here goes the strategy that I'm about to tell Jeff,
Copy that. Hards for next
which
box.
is hard tires. We are gonna go... Well, the plan was, if the rain
We're
came
leading our
at
teammate by
the very
5.0
end
seconds.
of the race, like the final 2-3 laps, I would try to survive on
We're
the
approaching
hard
pit
tires
window.
and
You'll
not
be on
pit
the
for
hards.
inters. But spoiler for the rest of the race here, the rain never comes, and we are still gonna box for hards. Chasing down Raikkonen here in sector 1, about to reach the hairpin, I guess, and we set a purple sector 1 there, and did not expect that. I think maybe we had a little more battery usage than usual, because we were below 10% there for a moment, and following the slipstream of Kimi.
Some information on Giovinazzi. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Giovinazzi with a potential retirement out of the race. I still haven't been hit by one, and every race I kinda wait for it, see, is this the race where I'm gonna be in points and then be hit with a faulty engine message. Still waiting. Also, I'm not sure how this works, but if you're running higher wings, you tend to generate a bit more ERS under braking. I'm not really sure how that works yet. I still have to learn all the technicalities of the Codemasters F1 games. But we are chasing down Kimi here. Same soft tire. I don't remember if he got into Q2 or Q3. I don't think he did. So that should be the same amount of laps on his soft tire that mine are on. But DRS, battery usage, draining the battery, not a good idea to do. Diving on the inside here. A little bit of contact yet again. The AI is really slow into that chicane. I'm not really sure what to make of it.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
Jeff tells us to box on a lap 9 for hards that we would eventually take to the end. Next lap here, and we have kind of pulled away from Raikkonen there for a bit. We head into the pits, Alonso Sonoda pits, and it looks like people are pitting for the mediums.
Complete, go now.
2.3 second stop, not exactly the 1.9s and the 1.8s.
We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
Yeah, I don't know why Jeff tells me that. This is a 25 lap hard tire that we want to go on. We don't want to do a 2-stop. But we come out behind Latifi on the soft, who I think is extending the run on the tire. Giovinazzi as well. And they should be a bit slower. But yeah, lap 11. And I hate how the camera does that in third person. Like, I just want this type of camera. I don't want the side mirror view or whatever. But on lap 11 in the hairpin, I think that was Raikkonen that we had a fight with. Slight contact to his wing. And unfortunately for him, we gave enough space, but he hit us and he has to dive straight back into the pits to get a new front wing. On the hards still, and the rest of the field on mediums, they are definitely catching us a bit, and us locking up into the hairpin is not doing us any favors. That invites George into our DRS, and a fight with him begins here. We hold P14 and we are on a, I would say, we're good, in a good position to score points, I would say. Trying to defend a bit from George. Again, I don't know where the pace of this Williams car comes, because mediums should not give you that big of an advantage over hards. Defending the inside line as much as possible. This is beginning to look like Russell versus Alonso in Austria. Trying to defend position for dear life. But eventually, especially if we take a wide line there, Russell would eventually get ahead. But I don't actually think he does here. I think we do manage to stay ahead for quite a bit. Lap 17. Still ahead. We have been fighting for well over 3 laps, I guess. Less than 2 tenths separate us. Forcing us to use quite a bit of our battery. And as he goes on the outside line, we dive back on the inside. And this is basically how we stay ahead. Into corners the Williams car is really bad, but in a straight line they are a bit of a rocket. And we haven't really spent a lot on our engine. We have only spent resource points on aero and chassis upgrades. So it makes sense that we are kind of faster out of corners. Heading into lap 18 here. We don't have any ERS to play with. and we are losing, like over these last 4 laps, we have lost so much ground to the rest of the pack just defending. If this was season 2 or season 3 and our car was a bit better, I would actually let Russell go past and try to follow him and see if he can drag us along to the
Conditions look stable at
to
the
the rest of
moment.
the pack.
No rain currently expected. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
But here you go, you see me asking Jeff about the weather, and I'm still expecting rain at this point.
Gap to car in front is 21.1 seconds.
Still expecting rain, and I'm thinking that I have a really good strategy here for some points. A replay of us defending the chicane from Russell. But here we go, lap 21. Mazepin gets past us a bit, a slight bit of contact, and then Russell dives on the outside, hits his front right into Mazepin, and he DNFs both of them.
Safety car is being deployed.
Safety car is out with 15 laps to go, I think that was. But yeah, very aggressive AI. I'm lucky I didn't get that much damage, but we do get floor damage, I think, from this, which is gonna create a lot of drag for us later. So we're heading onto the pits here. I can't remember if I go on softs, because I thought 14 laps here on soft is, even with 3 laps on the safety car, is gonna be quite difficult. So mediums for us, and we are gonna try to push super hard on these mediums.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
I get a warning for the pit lane exit. In real life that was actually like a 3-second or 2-second penalty. Tsunoda did that in Austria twice in the same race and got penalties for it.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
P15, safety car coming in this lap, and I don't think the other cars pitted, or if they did, they are quite a bit faster than us to reach the pack. But Schumacher ahead has 5-second penalty for something. He might have hit someone during the safety car or sped into the pit lane.
Okay, clear.
But we have a green flag and it's racing again.
Yellow flag.
10 laps to go. Yellow flag instantly for something. Almost have a moment there, and Latifi was ahead of us under blue flag and he had to give the position back. And there Raikkonen slows down.
Keep managing your tyres. Manage your tyres.
Almost taking out Schumacher, who had to make a emergency maneuver.
The car behind's catching you at a rate of about 2 seconds a lap.
Again, that doesn't make sense, Jeff, because we are on the same lap. And because of Latifi, now the rest of the lobby I think is bugged, as we have to make an emergency maneuver ourselves, as Schumacher is out of the race with an engine issue. But we are essentially back to where we were before the safety car. We are still P14, and the cars that we are ahead of, I think we are supposed to be ahead of, and the cars ahead of us have been teams that are legit faster than us. But Norris entered the pit there a lap after the safety car, which made no sense there. And here's a fight between us and Norris and Giovinazzi on lap 28 a bit later. We managed to keep them both behind. Again, at this point I'm kind of ego racing. I didn't want to let past Norris, and I think he and Giovinazzi hit each other on the straight, and Norris had to dive back into the pits a lap after for a new wing. Lap 30 we have a bit of fighting with our own teammate. We are P13 and now P14, and we basically fight for P13 position. Again, this is not even for points, it's just ego racing at this point. But we managed to stay ahead of Callum and basically practicing for when we eventually do fight in the points on a regular basis. We do have quite a bit of damage there on our wing from a fight earlier, and our floor is damaged, which is creating a lot of drag. The Alpha Tauri ahead of us is pulling away by, I think, 2-3 seconds each lap, and we are just using ERS and trying to be as wide as possible on the straights.
We're expecting rain in around 10 to 15 minutes.
And there comes the rain that I was talking about. 15 minutes. It's too late. I basically did the wrong strategy. But heading into lap 35 here, last lap, and Norris has caught up to us. He goes wide, trying to dive bomb us. A lot of debris still on the track there into turn 2. I don't know if you saw that.
Okay, clear.
But we are just trying to defend our P13. I'm not sure if this works well in game as it does in real life, but if we finish on the same points as say Haas or Williams,
There's only one lap of fuel
the team with
remaining.
the highest finish position I think gets the constructors position, the higher one. But we are heading into the last hairpin here. P13, we are gonna defend this, use the rest of our battery on this main straight here. We survived this race. In another race, if this damage to the floor happened earlier, I think I might have retired, because on the straights we were just a sitting duck. Little bit of last second defending here to keep a position from Giovinazzi.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
A lot of debris there. Should have been a virtual safety car or a safety car. Our teammate gets driver of the day for something. I don't know. We started from last and finished ahead of him. I'm not sure how he gets driver of the day.
So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track. So, let's review the drivers' standings. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
Callum Ilott gets my vote today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Ricardo wins this
Great
race.
work out there today. Let's have your thoughts.
I'm not sure how he gets driver of the day.
Beating all expectations. What's your secret? Do you have any comments about the collisions?
I think I do no comment on this.
Appreciate your time.
Again, like in in the driver, like the finished standings for that race. Ilot was P20 to P15, overtook 5 cars. I was P22 and at P13 overtook more cars, had a faster lap. I don't know how the game sees him as a better performer for that race. But at the end, there was no points for us. I think if you had focused a bit more on the engine, you might have gotten a bit more, because people were just pulling away from us on the straights. Most people who play my team that I watch with the Renault engine are much faster than this, but I think they spend more R&D points on the engine. Just quickly looking through the finances. We do have an event here for morale, I think. And yeah, I have upgraded each facility for the R&D, like resource point generation, because I kinda need it when my teammate is not helping me with the points. But this is all for this episode. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.